Imagine moving into a decaying century-old farmhouse in Black Hollow, Ohio, its sagging walls hiding secrets so dark the locals avoid its name, where every night a relentless tapping echoes from an antique bedroom mirror, growing louder, hungrier, like something's clawing to break free from the other side. That's the nightmare 17-year-old Mia and her family's skeptical dad, Tom, anxious mom, Laura, and curious 10-year-old brother, Ethan, stumbled into in fall 2024, drawn by a suspiciously cheap deal on a sprawling, eerie property with a grim past tied to vanishings no one could explain. The first night, Mia noticed the tapping, faint but rhythmic, from the ornate mirror in her attic bedroom, its tarnished frame carved with twisting, rune-like symbols that seemed to writhe in the moonlight, glowing faintly as if alive. She dismissed it as nerves, blaming the creaky house, but by the third night, the taps turned to scratches, sharp and deliberate, and she woke to find 3 thin, bleeding cuts on her arm, perfectly parallel, with no memory of how they got there. Her phone's sleep recording captured a chilling sight, a shadowy, eyeless figure leaning over her bed, its skeletal hand hovering inches from her face, whispering her name in a guttural voice that sounded like it clawed its way from a grave, its hollow mouth twisting into a grotesque smile. Showing the footage to her parents, Tom scoffed, insisting it was rats or old pipes. But Laura, pale and trembling, confessed she'd heard whispers, to always at 3 a.m., calling her name from the attic, sometimes forming words like come or stay. Ethan, meanwhile, started drawing disturbing pictures of a smiling man with no face, insisting it watched him from his closet's small, cracked mirror, its eyes glowing white in the dark. Mia, desperate for answers, dug into the house's history at the local library, uncovering a 1970s newspaper clipping about Elias Marrow, a reclusive artist who lived there and vanished after screaming to neighbors about a thing in the mirror stealing his soul. His wife Margaret and their 12-year-old daughter, Lila, disappeared to their bodies, never found, with rumors they were taken by the shadows. Locals avoided the house, calling it cursed, and Mia found an old journal in the attic, Elias's, filled with frantic sketches of a skeletal figure with glowing eyes and warnings about a mirror that sees. The family tried to ignore the growing dread, but the house seemed alive with malice. Keys vanished only to reappear in the attic chairs, tipped over in the dead of night. And a porcelain doll, Ethan swore he'd left in the basement, appeared by Mia's mirror, its glass eyes cracked, staring directly at her. One stormy night, the mirror bled, a thick black ooze dripping down the wall, forming the words, "We see you," in jagged letters before the liquid vanished, leaving no trace. Laura, now terrified, contacted a paranormal investigator, Sarah Klein, who arrived with a grim warning. The mirror was a portal, bound by an ancient entity that fed on fear and trapped souls, anchored by the occult symbols carved into its frame, likely part of a 19th century ritual gone wrong. Sarah attempted a cleansing burning sage and chanting prayers, but the house fought back. Lights flickered wildly, the air turned so cold, their breath froze, and a guttural voice roared, "Leave," from the attic, shaking the walls until picture frames shattered. Mia, drawn by an irresistible pull, climbed to the attic against Sarah's orders, her heart pounding as the mirror's surface rippled like water, showing her reflection. Twist into a grotesque version of herself, Fi's hollow skin gray mouth stretching into a silent scream. A claw reached out, grazing her cheek, leaving a burning mark that oozed black. Tom, hearing her scream, rushed up and swung a crowbar at the mirror. But it screamed back a bone-chilling, inhuman wail that echoed in their skulls, slashed his chest, leaving deep, oozing wounds that wouldn't stop bleeding. The family fled to a motel, but the horror clung to them like a shadow. Mia's nightmares grew vivid, showing the entity, now a towering skeletal figure with glowing white eyes, dragging Elias's ghostly daughter Leela into a void, her face frozen in terror. Ethan began sleepwalking, muttering, "It wants us all," and woke with scratches on his arms, identical to Mia's. Laura found matching marks on her back, appearing overnight, and noticed mirrors in the motel, reflecting things that weren't there, faint, distorted faces watching them. Sarah revealed more from Elias's journal. The mirror-s symbols were part of an 1850s occult ritual to bind a demon, meant to grant power, but instead trapping it and its victims, including Elias's family, whose souls were still imprisoned. To stop it, they had to destroy the mirror, but returning to the house with Sarah's team, they found the attic empty, the mirror gone, replaced by a scorched outline on the wall that smelled of sulfur. That night, the house burned down, flames, an unnatural blue, with no cause found, though neighbors reported hearing screams from the attic as it collapsed. The family thought they'd escaped, moving to a new apartment 200 miles away, but the terror persisted. Mia's nightmares showed Leela begging for help, her ghostly hands pressed against a glassy void, and Ethan's drawings grew darker, depicting the entire family trapped in a mirror. One evening, Laura found a small, cracked hand mirror in her purse, its frame etched with the same cursed symbols, though she'd never seen it before. Now, every night, the tapping returns, louder, closer, echoing from every reflective surface, mirrors, windows, even the polished kitchen counter. Mia sees more than her reflection now. Ethan's face, Laura's, Tom's, all screaming silently, trapped behind the glass, their eyes pleading as the skeletal entity looms behind them, its claws reaching out. Last week, Mia woke to find her bedroom mirror fogged up with a single word scratched into it: forever. The family tried throwing out the hand mirror, but it reappeared in Ethan's backpack, unblemished. They've stopped sleeping, afraid to close their eyes, because the tapping never stops, and every reflection shows the entity closer, its glowing eyes brighter, its smile wider. If you hear tapping from a mirror, don't look, don't answer. It's already inside, waiting to pull you in, and once it does, you're trapped with the others, forever screaming in the dark. Like and subscribe if this chilled you. Comment your own mirror stories, and stay tuned for more nightmares. You'll want the light on for this one.